What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Northeast Florida Surf Fishing Forecast for this weekend, March 19th through the 21st. Last few days have been good, a lot of whiting, but also we have the men in the yellow jackets, Mr. Pompano. They're showing up all the way from Little Talbot Island down to Fulano Beach. They're very scattered, but they're nice fish. Most of them are 17 to 19 inches. The majority of the fish right now are from Matanzas Inlet south. You got to look for that water temperature. And I was just looking at the water temperatures. Right now in Jack's Beach, it's 65 degrees. So it's starting to rise pretty fast. We'll see what happens after this weekend. We'll get to that in a minute though. Flagler, which is south of Matanzas, is 68 degrees right now. So Flagler Beach, you should have some pompano showing up along with tons of Spanish and bluefish. And then Matanzas Inlet, inside the inlet, the water's 66 degrees. So I figure along the beach, it's around 67, 68 as well. There are also Spanish showing up here in the Jacksonville area, the Mayport jetties. They've been getting Spanish the last 3 days in there. Bluefish as well. So things are starting to happen. What we've always talked about, the water temperature determines what fish are biting. So as it warms up, we're going to get into a lot more species. The drum, redfish will also start cruising the surf. And like I said, plenty of whiting the last few days. A lot more variety in the sizes. Whereas 2 weeks ago, most of the fish were all 14 to 16 inches. Now we're getting into where there's a lot of smaller fish. So while we don't like catching those smaller fish, it's also a good sign. It does mean the water's warming up. This week's found a lot of little sand fleas along the shore. They're showing up. 2 weeks ago, they were all sand fleas that big. The big boys popping up from burying deep. So the little guys are here now too. So I would say within 2 weeks, we're going to be in full mode pompano run up in this area. So now's the time to get all your rigs ready. Go buy some clams this weekend and go ahead and salt them so you have them ready. Speaking of this weekend, today we had southwest winds, which typically dirties up the water. But I checked out the water this afternoon in between thunderstorms, and it was a sandy green, which is a very good color. So tomorrow, Friday, that would be the day you need to fish if you're going to fish. They're calling for west winds in the morning, 10 to 12, switching over to the northeast at about 10 to 12. So tomorrow afternoon, man, that water will probably look extremely beautiful up here in the Northeast Florida area. Looking at the tides, we got a low at 7:03 in the morning, then a high tide almost at 1 p.m. So you'll have outgoing tide all afternoon, which is the tide we've really been catching most of the fish on. Then the fun part, the weekend. Saturday, this is what they're calling for. It may be even stronger than that. Northeast, 25 to 30. So if you're going to fish the beach, you're probably going to be fishing in the sand where the sand fleas are. You got a low at 8 in the morning and then a high at almost 2 in the afternoon. It doesn't get better on Sunday, guys. Northeast, 25 to 35. You got a low at 8:50 in the morning and then a high at 2:34 in the afternoon. So if you're going to fish, if you can fish the next 3 days, I would fish tomorrow, which is Friday. That'll be the best day to fish. The water should be fairly clean. I mean, it stayed clean all day today through the southwest winds, and now it's a light west wind as this front went through, so the water should still be good. I think there'll be a few more pompano caught tomorrow, and definitely whiting. But the weekend, unless you're fishing inside the inlet and out of the wind, or fishing in the river somewhere where you can get out of the wind, use this weekend to tie a bunch of rigs, to go on the Sinker Guys website and order all the tackle you need, all the weights you need, because I have a feeling come about Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, after the surf comes down some, there's going to be a lot of fish in the surf. Should be reds, drum, and pompano, and plenty of whiting. And the whiting right now, they're hitting this. On Monday, they hit sand fleas. And then on Wednesday, when I fished next to the Jacksonville Beach Pier, they didn't touch the sand fleas. All they were hitting was the live shrimp I soaked in Diet Pepsi shrimp, and that's what the 17-inch pompano hit as well. So on the orange float, The orange float has been key. The orange float with the salmon colored beads, guys. And I'm using the Eagle Claw circle hooks, the 1/0. Now, when you start using the sand fleas, go to the bigger size, a little bit bigger. Those sand fleas, some of them are that nickel size, so you want a little bit more hook penetration. So if you have a smaller circle hook, it's a lot harder to get that good hook set into the whiting's mouth. But right now we're right on schedule. I was looking through some of the pier logs that we had for several years, and pretty much the average water temperature this time of year was about 63 to 66. And right about this time of month in March, when that water hits that, everything starts showing up. I saw a report that Larry was further south, a little bit south of Matanzas. He had a cooler full of pompano, so they're on the way. Don't worry, guys, the pompano are on the way if that's what you want. I'll have some time, hopefully, for this kind of stuff. I'm gonna be putting that on some hooks. It's just fly fishing gear, but I got the twine or the thread and all the glue so you can wrap them around those hooks. When I was younger, I don't know if you guys remember, there was the, they still make them, speckled perch jigs or crappie jigs. They're like a little jig head and they got little feathers on them. Well, I'd make a 2-hook rig with those and fish on the old pier. And we would kill the pompano on them. The only problem was they had gold hooks on them. So when you hook the big pompano and you're trying to stop them from going under the pier, every time that hook, so with it, you make your own hooks with stronger, or you make your own jigs with stronger hooks, not gonna have that problem. Because you gotta remember, the pompano are sight feeders. On the West Coast and further down south, where they have that really clear water, they use a lot of jigs, the goofy jigs, banana jigs, little bucktails, 1/2-ounce bucktails and whatnot. And the pompano absolutely destroy them. So they're coming, and I hope you're ready. The seminar went great this past weekend, and we will be having another one for all those who missed it. There was a few people that had to go out of town, and a few had deaths in their families, and the wrong address. We tried to get it out in time, but we should have had someone over at the parking lot to direct everyone to the right spot. So we're gonna make that up, and we'll have a seminar just for you guys. So we'll let y'all know. We gotta get me and Chip's schedule lined up, and it'll be on a Saturday morning again. So hopefully that will be convenient. Like I said, for the last group, write your questions down so when you come, you'll know what to ask. Because sometimes when you get into a meeting, it's easy to forget what you want to ask when you get going. But it was good. We had a lot of good responses from people who went afterwards fishing, and with the tips they picked up from us, they started catching a lot of fish. So that's what it's all about. Free knowledge equals free food in your cooler. And we do have a tournament coming up. I think I'll have to look again. I want to say April 10th. It's being put on by Chip, and it's to help Mark Burford's son, who's battling cancer right now, and anyone who's dealt with that or family members who've had it, you know the cost of it, and it just gets astronomical. So we're going to try to make this tournament huge to raise a lot of money to help his family out. We'll get more information on the YouTube page and our Facebook page. If you're not a part of that, go on Facebook, Broken Reel 23, just type that in and it'll pop up, Northeast Florida Surf Fishing Reports. If you're not a part of that group and you're on Facebook, join it, because we get several reports throughout the day from this local area of what's biting, how the water looks, all of that. We have a lot of detailed reports on there, and it's hard to find on Facebook and anywhere else. A lot of people like to just beat their chest and show what they have in their cooler without letting anybody know what they use for bait, what type of rig. But this channel and the Sinker Guys channel, we're all about helping people. So we appreciate all the good feedback and all the good comments. But that's about it. I hope everyone can get out there and fish tomorrow, catch some fish for the weekend, and tie plenty of rigs Saturday and Sunday, because guys, the fishing's about to heat up. Hopefully it won't drop that water temperature too much. It's supposed to be like that northeast wind, but it's supposed to be like 55 for a high on Saturday. If anything, I think the water will probably drop 2 degrees, but it'll warm up fast because towards the middle of next week, it looks like we have some southeast winds coming again, and that'll warm it right back up. So that's all I got. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you don't want to do that, you can email me at brokenreel23@hotmail.com. So until next time, guys, tight lines.